What is the relationship of care, however? That's something that's important to establish up front regarding all of this. The relationship of care is, by its nature, dyadic. Right? That means that there's two individuals and the flow has to go both ways. Right? Functionally, there's give and take. Right? It's a give and take relationship. Right? It doesn't just go one way. Right? You can care about someone who doesn't care about you, but truly caring about someone means um, that you functionally abide by Joan Tronto's four phases of care. That you care about, right, which means you know the needs of the cared for. You acquire or you take care of the other individual, which means you acquire, uh, the responsibility for the cared for. Uh, Giving care, you provide care for to meet their needs, and then there is finally the responsiveness. Right? This is the reciprocal or dialogical nature of care, where once you've met the needs, well, it's not like you meet. Imagine having a baby, right? Um, you have an infant, right? Okay, you fed and changed the infant. Is it suddenly no longer going to need food and changing? No, it just doesn't right at this moment. Right? So but that's going to change, right? So the needs are constantly changing. As the baby is hungry, feed the baby. As the baby has a dirty nappy, rub its nose in it like a dog. Or no, sorry, change the nappy, right? Change the nappy, and stimulate the baby, um, psychologically, cognitively, like through play with the baby, help the baby develop, right? And as the baby grows up, it's going to need different things. It's going to need to be stimulated in certain different ways, right? It's going to need to learn how to crawl, uh, how to walk, talk, right? All that fun jazz that makes babies horrifying. Um, right. Now, care itself requires or expresses, empathy, an emotional connection between the caring party and the cared for. Uh, you need to know the the needs of the cared for, right? And this means having empathy for them because you can't care. You can't really know their needs if you don't have empathy, right? That's like seeing what the problem is, but not listening to the specifics of the problem. So you only know the problem in the most general way if you simply see it. Right? It also requires action be taken. Right? There's an action requirement to caring. It's not a passive activity. In this way, along with the first, um, care is kind of antithetical to ignorance, right? You can't really be ignorant of the needs of the cared for or what's necessary to address those needs and honestly say you care. Right? If you truly care for the other person, then part of knowing those needs means learning how you need to address them, right? Rectifying yourself of your ignorance by acquiring knowledge as necessary to resolve the situation. And then finally, um, the model for care is really a model of listening, right? It's being open and receptive to uh, the changes in needs, which means open and receptive to what the cared for has to tell you about their own needs. Something our government could definitely learn from us about. Um, so, what separates this out from other models of ethics is that the model of care is naturally conflictual. right? We can mistreat or misread uh, the needs of the cared for, or not properly address, despite our best ability, those needs. Right? We might think at the time, with the resources available to us and the knowledge and understanding available to us, um, for some cares, like say autism, right, and autism advocacy, right. 20 years ago, it meant something completely different than it does today. Um, the understanding of autism itself was different, so the understanding of what appropriate needs were was different. How to meet those needs appropriately would have been different as well. Uh, so we can misread the needs. We can fail to adequately meet the needs for one reason or another, our own resources, our own understanding, or we can meet the needs perfectly well with the understanding and resources available to us, but it can lead to further problems down the line. Right? Caring about people is a naturally messy thing, which is actually fairly in line with ethics, with our moralizing. It's messy.